our whole family is here in Mass. Thank you.
He might go too long.
And we've enjoyed it immensely. Some have to go home tomorrow, but Louise and I get to stay a couple more days with these two guys. It's fun to be with. Thank you for coming.
I did want to say one other thing. I know that my four bosses since I graduated from graduate school are here tonight. All four, I've had four. They're all here, and I want them all to know that each of them are among my top 4 favorite bosses.
I can see he's very political. That's how he made it.
Yeah. You think he's running for mayor?
So when Andy told me that he was getting married and asked me to be the best man, he said to me, and you have to make a toast, and it has to be good. He stole that page right on my playbook, because that's what I said to him 20 years ago, 21 and a half years ago when he was counting. And typical Andy, he gave a speech for the ages that would make even Oprah Winfrey cry. Actually, she did. She was there. She did. His humor was perfectly timed and spot on. His imagery was beautiful and magical, and he offered some wise and sage advice. So, before I begin, I want to offer some wise and sage advice to you and Mark. Stand together, please. To help you understand my speech and appreciate it more. The sage advice is, the key to happiness is low expectations. Especially when it comes to best men speeches. Right, Ben? Over the last couple months, Andy's been asking me, how's the speech coming? Have you started yet? Are you done yet? Which is really kind of funny, because true story, I called Andy this morning and said, how you doing? Are you ready to get married? And he said, I'm just starting to work on my vows. But the truth of the matter is, I've had my speech written for 20 years. I always knew, and Andy and I always knew that we'd be each other's best men. So here is the speech I wrote 20 years ago. Damn it, I can't read it. If I'd given this 20 years ago, I wouldn't need these. All right. September 3rd, 1996. How ironic. Mark, as the best man, I believe that it is my obligation to welcome you to the Frank Gogol Dockin Lerner family. It may take some time, but once you get to know us, you may come to like us. We are not nearly as crazy as we seem at first blush. Though the Frank Gogol side of the family is a house divided when it comes to ACC basketball, with half of them favoring North Carolina schools, I am certain that we on the Maryland side will celebrate a national championship in the very near future. That was in 1996. The Terps have just signed this kid from Calvert Hall named Juan Dixon, and I hear he's pretty good. And I bet his Aunt Sheila is a really cool lady who would make a great mayor and a great boss too. Andy's Aunt Jeannie is a sweetheart, so long as you don't order hamburgers at McDonald's without ketchup, and so long as you tell her her strawberry pie is the best dessert on the planet. On the Dockin Lerner side, you're going to love the food at Ancella and Michael's holiday parties. Maybe someday they can create this catering company with great catering crab cakes and serve it in an event kind of like this. And Norzy's lemon meringue pies will be delicious. One day Andy may even learn to make it. Learn, but not ever make it himself. Then there are Andy's brothers, Larry and Steve. Larry is a prototypical big brother. He will always look out for you and can get you great rates at the Hyatt. As for Steve, Steve has an enormous capacity to show love and care for those around him, and he is not nearly as zany as he seems. Okay, we all know he is. Andy's parents, Paula and Stan, could be two of the most wonderful people who have ever lived. Paula may seem like a paradox with her love of soft flowers and her matter-of-fact way of expressing herself, but she is no shrinking violet, and I'm sure that in the years to come, she will tell you two time and time again how proud she is of both of you, how much she loves you, and how much she will always love you. And then Stanley, in his gentle manner, will just smile and say, "Me more." As for Andy, I guess that as the best man, it is my job to tell you something about him that you don't already know. An embarrassing tidbit that you would never otherwise find out about him, even if you lived with him for 20 years. It's a hard one. You do know he hates condiments, right? You do know that he has misophonia, right?
No, I never heard of that.
Did you know that he is supporting Clinton in the upcoming presidential election against Bob Dole? Remember, I wrote this 20 years ago. I guess what you really need to know about Andy is that he is the culmination of the best of everyone that he grew up with at 7437 Cathydale Avenue. He has Steve's enormous capacity to love, Larry's wonderful ability to look out for others. He has Paula's matter-of-fact way, and Stanley's ability to enjoy the simplest of moments. As most of you know, Andy and I have been best friends since the day I was born. He's 5 months older, so he had to survive for a short period of time on his own without me, and he's still looking for that binky. To paraphrase our grandfather, we became cousins by birth, but we earned the name Buddios, a name that was given to our special friendship, by being there for each other through times, best and worst of times, thick and thin. When Andy first told me that he was gay, I guess I knew for some time, but I didn't want to believe it. It wasn't that I could not come to terms with having a best friend who was gay, but that did take some getting used to. But I found it impossible to believe, as I told him at the time, that there could ever be a man in his life closer to him than I was. He assured me that it wasn't the same, and he was right. We have come to learn that love comes in many forms. The love between a parent and child, the love between brothers, the love between friends, the love between buddies, and the love of marriage. And that is a love that you guys share. And is a love that you have shared for 20 years. And thankfully you have stood together in union as society has caught up with you and have allowed you to lawfully marry. We may think it a little sad